There are a lot of woodworking items that you can buy at a big box store, woodworker specialty store, Amazon. Doesn't really matter, the price is about the same. But there are some items that the price is significantly better on Amazon, or you can't even find at those other places. So I just thought I'd share some of my experiences with these. The first of these is shellac, but not just any shellac. This is wax-free shellac that I use as a wood grain filler.
You can buy shellac at a big box store, but be careful to read the label. They almost never have the wax free shellac, and this stuff is intended to be used as a final finish and will not be good as a wood grain filler. You can buy the right stuff at a woodworker specialty store, but it's 50% more expensive than you can get the exact same thing at Amazon for $10 less. Here's an example in this open grain wood where the final finish will be polyurethane, but I first put on a generous coat of wax-free shellac and then sand it down before applying the polyurethane. If I didn't do the shellac filler, the finish would look like this, but with the shellac filler, I get a nice smooth polyurethane finish. Or just another example is here where I filled the wood grain on my cornhole board so that I get crisp and clean paint lines.
And the next item is this simple sanding mat.
The material is like a rubbery feeling, so it has some traction and doesn't slip or slide around too much. It's thin and lightweight. You can fold it up, crumple it, throw it to the side, and when you're ready to use it, it lays out flat again. It's soft to protect the workpiece from any scratching or damage on the downside, and works great when using a sander or just hand sanding. Before I got this, I was using a towel, which worked okay, but would tend to slide around a bit more, and it's also pretty difficult to keep the sawdust cleaned out of. Or I would just clamp the workpiece down to the workbench, or sometimes just put the workpiece directly on the workbench and hold it with one hand. Yeah, that's not good. But now, this sanding mat is almost always my preference.
And you're not going to find this on Amazon looking for woodworking tools. It's actually a throw rug mat. I'll leave a link to it in the description along with all of the other items I'm discussing in this video. I got these digital calipers on Amazon for half the price of what they sell for at the woodworking specialty store, and you can't even find them at the big box stores. I can't believe for so many years I measured everything with a measuring tape, but there are so many instances where digital calipers are the better choice.
Okay, so here's what they have at the big box stores. They're calipers, but they're not digital, and they cost about the same as what the digital ones cost on Amazon. At the woodworking specialty store, they have pretty much the same as you can buy on Amazon, but for double the price. Most frequently, I use these to measure the thickness of the wood that I'm working on. Perhaps it's coming off the planer. It's also great for measuring inside dimensions, probably the second most frequent use, and they're great for measuring the depth of the cut. Or when I get my drill bits mixed up and trying to figure out what size it is. There's a way you can switch between decimals and fractions and also switch between millimeters and inches, which is nice because when I'm working on my laser, I tend to like to work in millimeters. These things are very inexpensive, just over $20. Well worth it in my opinion.
So I got the parts to assemble this router sled on Amazon for a fraction of the cost of what you'd pay for a completed router sled kit.
The linear rails for this sled are super affordable, and all you need in addition is a $20 piece of acrylic. With a few simple cuts and drilling some holes, you have a router sled. This is comparable in quality to the pre-made router sleds that sell in the $300 to $500 price range. But all of these parts combined on Amazon is about $140 and put it together yourself. I'll include the parts list and links in the description, and also note that I made an in-depth video on how to make this sled. I'll include a link to that video also.
And the next is this digital angle finder that I primarily use to set the angle of the blade on my table saw.
After I started using this, my miter joints suddenly became so much tighter. The way it works is that you first establish a zero angle on the table saw top, and then using its magnets, attach it to the saw blade to get the exact angle you're looking for. It's significantly more accurate than just relying on the scale in the table saw. Here you can see when the digital angle is set to the correct 45 degree that the indicator is really incorrectly reading closer to 44 degrees. And it's especially useful when you're needing to get some non-standard angles like I recently did on this display case that I built using some strange angles. I also used it to reestablish and improve the calibration of the zero angle stop for when I'm returning the saw back to 90.
For only $17, this little gadget is definitely worth it. Thanks so much for watching.